Раз, раз, раз.
Hello, everyone who has joined us. This is Ukraine Media Center at Ukrinform. We begin our today's work. This is Olga Tamanova with you, and we have the following list of events for you today. At 1:30, we will have Andrei Demchenko, the spokesperson for the State Bodyguard Service of Ukraine. We will be discussing the situation at the borders. At 2:30, we will have Damien Magru, the spokesperson for the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine. We will be discussing the debunking of myths about the International Legion. And right now we will have Natalia Humeniuk, the head of the United Coordinating Press Center of Security and Defense Forces. Natalia, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Natalia? Dearest technical team, please help us hear each other. Can you hear us, Natalia? Sorry, unfortunately, sometimes we have equipment failures. We are doing best to fix the failure right now. Natalia, can you hear us now? Well, our team is dealing with the technical issues. Let me remind you that we have here with us online Natalia Humeniuk, the spokesperson of the United Informational Center. I hope Natalia can hear us. Speaking of the situation in the southern region, it is still tense. The advancement of our troops is happening, though slowly, but still confident. And once the positions are held firmly, the information becomes public. Right now, we are successfully attacking the logistical centers and the command headquarters of the enemy. We have informed about such cases, the hits on the command centers, the centers of enemy equipment. There are cases of hits on the equipment located along the contact line, and these are quite considerable accomplishments because we are successfully attacking the dangerous equipment, the heavy weaponry, the multi-launch rocket systems. We have destroyed about a dozen of those over the last weekend, so it is quite a strong attack against the enemy positions, but the enemy also uses helicopters to attack the rear of our troops, and also uses missile attacks. For instance, they are using the S-300 system, which uses fragmentation ammunition, and this way, for instance, they are attacking the city of Mykolaiv and its surroundings. Natalia, can you hear us already? So, what exactly is happening in Odessa? We all saw and heard about the strong shelling that was happening in the morning. What is the situation right now? Uh, Quite recently, there was a missile attack on Odessa. The missiles were launched from aircrafts. These were Su-30 aircrafts, and these were probably City-1 missiles. There was a hit of one of the coastline villages, a residential building, and a couple of buildings nearby were damaged, some trees and a car. Right now, the team of the team of officers is working to discover the violation of the law of the war, and the missiles, for instance, are also hitting the agricultural fields. There are fires resulting from them, which destroys not only the grain which is blocked in the ports, but these are also the new harvests in Mykolaiv and Odessa regions. There are such cases when fires are caused by missile attacks. And can we say that these fires in the fields in Kherson and Mykolaiv region, can we say that these are actually the goals, the purposes of the occupiers? Well, it's difficult to discuss what their purposes are, but we can be sure that their main purpose is to destroy everything that cannot be seized and stolen. So whatever they could steal in the occupied Kherson region, they have actually stolen and are using. But what is inaccessible to them is destroyed. So these are the systemic attacks on grain storage facilities in Kryvyi Rih district, also in Mykolaiv and Odessa regions, and basically in all the Ukrainian south where they can reach. They are hitting even the agricultural enterprises. They are not only destroying people and industrial facilities, but also agricultural ones. So yesterday we saw the news from the president of Ukraine that the country is getting ready for the liberation of the south of Ukraine. What does it mean to you? The preparation for the liberation of the South has probably taken place since February 24th. We are ready for the liberation of the South. We are moving forward. We are doing this work daily. This will be probably a more in line with the expectations of the citizens, of those who are right now under occupation. Once we get the proper weapons, once we strengthen our artillery force, it will be more dynamic, but still let us continue in the same silent mode, which is necessary for us to truly implement our work, and then it's going to become public. Dear colleagues, please ask your questions. Please use the microphones. I hope Natalia will hear us. Hello, I'm Natalia Malchanova from Ukraine Forum. Speaking of the situation in the south of Ukraine, Natalia, can you hear us? So, okay, we'll repeat the question for Natalia. So, the situation in the south of Ukraine, as far as we understand, the armed forces of Ukraine have been implementing this liberation operation for quite some time already. Are there any movements of the enemy that are noticeable there? For instance, some railway transportation, and also there were recent calls for people to evacuate. Is there any information about people actually evacuating? So, do people evacuate from the occupied and non-occupied territories that are under fire right now? And also, are you observing any activity on the part of occupiers with regards to moving equipment and troops? So, again, there are some internet problems, but still, the activity of the enemy is visible, although slow. We understand that the enemy needs time, the enemy needs resources, and they are looking for it. They are probably using some of their reserve resources, so little by little we are noticing their moves, but still the troops are demoralized. And we are, of course, watching quite attentively. We do understand that they will be looking for ways to hold at least the positions they have right now, but we also understand that it will be difficult for them. As for the civilians and the calls to evacuate, well, indeed, that's a normal normal move of the local governments. Again, it's the best thing for the civilians to do right now, because indeed the cleansing territory from the occupiers would be very difficult if you understand that there are some civilians that can be used by the enemy to protect their troops. Of course, we are not attacking civilian population. We are not attacking the socially significant facilities. And this is exactly what the enemy is using. They hide behind such socially significant facilities. It is still possible to somehow push them out, but it becomes more difficult. So if there is such possibility, although we know that the occupiers are blocking the exits from the Kherson region, but if there is such a possibility, please use it. This will simplify our work. We will cleanse the territory of the enemy and rebuild everything later. Thank you, Natalia. So despite the challenges with the connection, you were able to share some important information with us. And to you, dear colleagues, I remind that we will have our